Now, this episode might seem a little weird because usually I'm all about action, I'm all about planning, I'm all about failing, and we have to be in a mindset of movement, right? But today's episode is going to be a little bit about nothing and doing nothing. Just like the sun every day has to rise, it also has to set and rest, so the moon can shine, so the world can be balanced in a way. And that's what is today's topic. Today's topic is about doing nothing. A lot of times, we imagine ourselves and we say, oh, we don't have time to do this. I don't have time to just sit around and do nothing. I got a job, I got kids, I got a house, I got to pay rent. I got to, enjoy my life. And I'll be honest, this is makes sense. It's normal. Sometimes doing nothing feels stupid. It feels like you're wasting your time. And a lot of times, oh, I don't have time for this. It's just not a priority for you. And that's also okay. We have values in our lives, things we need to accomplish. But I want us to try and, be open about this idea of doing nothing. And when I say do nothing, I say do nothing because our mind is constantly watching something. Our mind is constantly tied to a screen, constantly tied to something that makes our brain, receive dopamine, makes our brain work, whether that's social media, whether that's TV, whether that's music. Although I love music because music, you know, humming, calms the nervous system, soothes the nervous system. Music also, is in a different energy frequency. So music is also really important for the body. But as you know, with social media now everywhere, everyone is on their phone. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not on my phone. I'm also on my phone. I'm on my phone a lot. TikTok, social media, Twitter, Facebook. And the idea of social media is amazing because it can be used for many good things: connections, networking, finding jobs. But a lot of times, social media is a very basic experience. And what I mean by that is we are seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of ideas, comments every single day. And it kind of reminds me of Instagram. You only see a snippet of their life. You see a picture of them at the beach, you must think, wow, their life is perfect. Or you see a couple being married, you must think, wow, they must be so happy in love. And we don't really get this complex idea of their life. We just see a snippet. And this happens in many platforms. People have these ideas, they say these thoughts, but we don't know the idea behind it. What made them think about this? Why did they write that thought? And so we lose a lot of critical thinking by being on social media. All the things that we do are very fast, very rapid. So every day we see all these thoughts, and there's so many every hour. The For You page refreshes every 5 seconds. We aren't able to sit down, even as a community, and look through those thoughts, explain those thoughts, learn those thoughts, see where they come from. We don't have time to. The algorithm is forcing us down our throats other people's thoughts every single second. And this is a phenomenon that is unfortunately a little sad because, you know, even looking at schools, as soon as we implemented technology into the school, we have gone back as a society. The reading level has decreased. Kids are, acting in a way we've never seen them act in schools before. And with technology, that is kind of a reason. And, you know, this is why I want to circle back to doing nothing. We when we are on social media all the time, our brain is going to be focused on that. Okay, so boom, kind of this attention economy now. Attention is currency. So the algorithms want to take your attention, they want to kind of control you, manipulate you. And so they'll send you millions of thoughts, millions of ideas every day on your phone. And this becomes a pattern, right? Every single day, you're watching the same thoughts. Every single day, you're watching the same viewpoints. Every single day, you're getting more ideas from this phone. And you believe the same thing every day. And you have the same idea every day. And every day, the pattern becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? So it's going to be a lot harder to detach from that viewpoint, right? If I'm on my phone all day looking at LeBron James highlights, I'm gonna say LeBron James is the best. So anytime I see a highlight that's not LeBron, I'm gonna be like, okay, that was nice, but LeBron's still the best. You know, I hate to use sports. People don't like sports, but you know, even Drake, even politics. If you're left wing, you all you see is left wing. Obviously, you're gonna become very emotional when people don't agree with you because politics are a big thing. And you know, as you should, I'm not gonna get on here and talk about politics, although you know, free Palestine. But it's important to understand that when we are in a narrow viewpoint, it is so hard to have deep critical thinking. And when I say we have to detach and do nothing, I'm saying we have to allow thoughts to come into our mind. Because if thoughts aren't allowed to come into our mind, if we're not able to be curious, then we're going to be focused on one thing, and our attention is not going to be truly our attention. It's the attention that is consumed, what we consume, what's around us all the time, our environment. And it's just really important to understand this because once we are able to, you know, take 5 minutes out of our day to do nothing, that's giving our brain a chance to rest, a chance to create, you know. When we look outside, you know, let's say you want to look at some birds, okay? You you know, the birds kind of have to just come. You can't force the birds to come and watch you. You know, this is talking about attention. So once we are focused on something, our brain is going to be active. It's going to be looking out for this. You know, a great example is women or men. If you're a woman, you know, you are kind of in your man phase right now. Your brain is going to be like, okay, there's a man. Oh, there's a man, you know. And the same way, if you're a man, you're in your girl phase, you know, very attracted to women at this time. Your brain is gonna be like, oh, like it's gonna be on the lookout for that thing that you're always being consumed by. And what does this mean? You're not gonna have awareness for other things that can come into your life. And so this is why I always say in this video, doing nothing is going to reset the brainwave. It's going to reset your identity. We're going to get out, we're going to detach, we're going to have a different perspective. And obviously, this isn't going to work in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is going to take time. But doing nothing is a great way to kind of relax, is a great way to detach your mind from what you're seeing every day on social media. You know, we have to understand that as a society, the only way we can grow is by creating deep, critical thoughts. And right now, social media isn't allowing that. All we can do on social media is look at an idea and scroll past it. 5 seconds, think about it. 5 seconds, boom. 5 seconds, this. Hey, this. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at this. We don't have the chance to create our own thoughts. And this is why kind of the attention economy is really sad at this point. It's always kind of been happening. The society is easily manipulated by certain things, by drugs, social media, dopamine, sugar, and it's a way to control us, obviously. And I don't want to get into conspiracy theorists, all that right now. But I'm just here to say, try to take back your attention. Take 5 minutes out of your day, just look outside a window. Take 5 minutes out of your day, look at the wall. Take 5 minutes out of your day, cook in silence, drive in silence, be in silence. You don't always have to be consumed by something. You don't always have to be an iPad kid. And once you're doing nothing, you know, enjoy it. Obviously, I could say, okay, you're doing nothing, look at the wall. What do you want to think about? Try to control your thoughts. Try to create your thoughts. You know, try to not be so narrow minded. Okay. That's all I want to talk about today. This episode is, off the growth. Here we speak about many things, how to grow as a person. And I kind of just want to talk about that. I feel like a lot of times we feel like we don't have the chance to do nothing. And sometimes we feel like doing nothing is a waste of time. But there's nothing wrong with spending time with yourself, spending time with your feelings, spending time with your thoughts. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think we all deserve a chance to, immerse ourselves in our thoughts, in our body, in our mind, in our soul. And that is kind of what this video was about. So I'm sure I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say, but we try to keep it pretty authentic here and, not really go by a script. So with that, I'll leave it as to remember most of our thoughts are not our thoughts because we're consuming things all the time. So if you have these intrusive thoughts, take a second, understand that maybe that's not what you feel, maybe that's not what you think. It just happens to be in your mind. It just happens to be created by other people's perspectives, other people's opinions. And we can always create thoughts. We just have to be aware, being present, be in the mindset, take back the control. And that starts with a lot of things: feeling emotions, creating thoughts, creating, not reacting. And at the end of the day, what's most important is being consistent, right? Because when we're in that attention, when we're in social media mode, the attention is every day. That pattern is hard to break. Those thoughts are hard to break free from. It's hard to break free from addiction. It's hard to break free from, um, you know, changing your mind on some things. Is really impossible. Some people don't want to, and that's also going to be okay. But it's always key to be able to change, to pivot at any moment, because this is how we learn, this is how we grow. And if you guys are wanting to grow, wanting to be better people, this is the way. Allowing thoughts to come, not searching. I don't chase, I attract. So we have to trust that it will come when the time is right. We have to allow life to life. We have to go with the flow. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. The mic is coming. It was dead, so the audio is low. You know, turn it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.